topical issues from social and economic as well as cultural point of view on the show today. Well, let's talk about something that is really important to Nigeria's economic survival as the federal government continues to search for a lasting solution to the bleeding in the oil sector. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has disclosed that in the period spanning between 2009 and 2020, Nigeria lost as much as 619.7 million barrels of crude oil, which is valued at 16.25 trillion naira. And this is lost to oil theft. The organization lamented that it was regrettable that at a time Nigeria's economy is largely dependent on oil revenues, some Nigerians would choose to collude with foreign nationals to steal and sabotage the main sources of revenue to the country. It is sad, but it's the reality. And we must commend the federal government for the efforts made in recent months to pick out this oil theft. But we have, of course, many Nigerians will say they haven't seen the impact on the street yet because they're still buying petroleum products at a relatively high price. But let's look at the old narrative itself. I mean, there's a saying that it is he who knows the way in, or like, I mean, there's a saying in Yoruba language, I don't know how to say it now, that it's the thief who knows how to catch a fellow thief. Yes. No accusation is being pointed here, but this looks like an inside job. It's how it's done to actually do this.
Well, I think in the first place, we should, this is one of the legacies of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who in 2007 signed the NEITI Act. And I think Nigeria is one of the first countries that came into the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. And the first chairman actually did a very good job, Obieze Kwesili, in terms of putting down the structure. Because we have had in the past where government institutions will not give you the real picture of what is going on. But NEITI now has offered us a very good opportunity to know this is not coming from Femi Falana. It's not coming from Oleza Bakoba. It's coming from government, institution that is owned by the government itself. So now look at the number, the figure of funds being stolen. These funds could not have been stolen by ordinary people on the street. It's a well-organized cartel where you have people in the security services, you have politicians, you have top civil servants. If you want to get oil, it's not a crime for small boys. Look at what we have just discovered, that they laid pipes, kilometers, from offshore to onshore. That will have taken months to lay. And what they do is that they bring the ship let's say at midnight. Either they stay offshore, onshore, and then look for small batches who take this fuel down, or even fuel, the liquid from their source to the. So it's a global cartel that when we are talking about this kind of crime, it's not something that ordinary people are involved. Before you can pass through the various checkpoints on the IC, there's no way you can even pass through without meeting the Navy, the Air Force, Director of Military Intelligence, the police. So it's a crime that is, it's for big men. So this is self-indictment of the government. And of course, this has been going on according to NEITI for several years. In 2016, we thought things would be better. It's even worse. And it's still going on as we speak today. So if you look at this budget, it's almost, the budget of Nigeria for 1 year at a point in time. More than the budget of some 10 states put together. So when we are saying that Nigeria is not rich, we are not saying the truth. Nigeria is a highly endowed country. It's a very rich country whose growth has been stunted by criminal elements who are driven by primitive accumulation of wealth. So now we have seen this report. The question is, what will the government do? Let us wait and see.
Well, this revelation by NEITI has economic impact and even environmental implications on Nigeria's economy. But let's still stay on the economic implication of this. 619.7 million barrels of crude oil valued at 16.25 trillion naira is a huge loss for any country. And if Nigerian government has not found anyone culpable of this crime, it means the government itself is not bothered about this.
The truth of the matter is, when this war against vandalism oil pipeline viaduct and all that gathered momentum. Some of us did say that that's actually not the solution to Nigeria's problem in that sector. How many buyers of crude oil are taken away by vendors who break pipes? And you compare it to those who just lay pipes from our source to their ship. You will understand the fact that we need to do more, and the more is not physical. It's actually in the area of policies, sincere policies. We need to tell ourselves the truth that, okay, in government or in government agencies, these are the people who can know something about this thing. They can't exist in isolation. You can imagine a white man, an European, or a Swede or whatever, leaving his country to come and engage in oil theft here. That tells you how much he intends to make from it. It's not like Egbon said, it's not a business or it's not a crime for children. It's for the big boys. And he won't venture into such without being sure of certain complicity in the system. And that's what we are asking for. Those who are complicit in the system should be fished out. Once we do, it's like NDLA running after boys smoking Indian hemp on the street. That was the order of the day in those years. And we kept saying, this will not solve the problem of hemp smoking. Yeah. But when Marwa came and started going after the big men, growing it, processing it, selling it, and we started seeing changes. Yeah. It's going to the very roots. The same thing happens here. We have employed one repentant militant to run after vandals. That would solve our problem. The organs in the system who are complicit, who are part and parcel of this, who sees this as business. And you know what? This crime is handed over from one retiring organ to the other. They know where the pipes are. They know the time the ships will come. They know how the crudes are disposed of. Some of these crude are even sold back to agencies in Nigeria. And they get their money. Let's look for those men and women who are within our system, who knows what is going on. If we have to bargain with them, let us do, okay, we want this to stop. Give us all the lowdowns. Where is this? Where can we this? How can we end this? It is only when we do that. Those in government, those in the agencies, those who are retired, those in the military, those in the processing sector, this processing sector.
Absolutely.
Let us gather all what they know. It is all what they know and all what they've been doing we need
help us to tackle
this problem.
Well, oil sabotage is an issue, like the report stated, that spanned for a very long period of time. But of course, I think in recent time we begin to hear more and perhaps see some success stories because perhaps the NNPC is not a private organization.
Yes.
They realize
they want
to
make profit money.
Perhaps the privatization of the NNPC is also
help
in reducing the loss and the theft that oil sabotage has done to Nigeria's economy.